Imagine waking up one morning and finding out that $51 disappeared from silver in just one trading session. Not over weeks or months, in hours. Silver went from 121 all the way down to $70. This was the biggest single-day crash in silver since 1980. Over $7 trillion vanished from global markets in just 48 hours. Traders everywhere were getting wiped out. Their accounts were being liquidated in real time. Bullion dealers from Dubai to Switzerland had zero silver left. Their shelves were completely empty. But here's the crazy part. While everyone was panicking, one man was sitting calm on the other side of that trade. He was making money while everyone else was losing. And today I'm going to tell you exactly who he is and why what happened changes everything about the silver market. Hey everyone, this is Con Invests. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now. And please take 2 seconds to like this video. It really helps more people discover this kind of analysis. Now let me show you what really happened and why this matters to you. Every financial news channel ran the same story. They said silver crashed because President Trump nominated Kevin Warsh as the new Federal Reserve chair. Markets thought this meant higher interest rates. The dollar went up, silver and gold went down. Simple story, right? Wrong. That explanation is only about 10% of what actually happened. Let me show you the other 90% that nobody is talking about. Today, silver fell 31% in one session. Gold fell about 9%. Now stop and think about that. Silver crashed 3 times harder than gold. 3 times. Both metals are priced in dollars. Both react to the same market forces. So why did silver get destroyed while gold just had a bad day? That difference tells you something important is happening beneath the surface, something the news is not explaining properly. Here is what really happened. Before the crash, speculative traders were betting on silver going up more than almost any time in history. Everyone was leaning the same direction. Then the trigger came. According to Morgan Stanley, there was massive forced selling in leveraged silver funds. One fund alone had to sell $3.5 billion worth of silver in one day. Then the CME group made it worse. They raised the margin requirements on silver futures from 11% to 15% right during the crash. Let me explain why that matters. When margin requirements go up during a crash, traders who cannot meet the new requirement get forced out. Their positions get sold automatically. That pushes prices down even more. More traders hit their limits, more selling happens, it becomes a death spiral. And this is exactly the moment when our mystery man made his fortune. So who is this man? His name is Byan Sheaming. He is a Chinese billionaire who has made over $3 billion trading gold since 2022, $3 billion on gold in 4 years. He is one of the most successful metals traders alive. And today he just made hundreds of millions of dollars betting against silver while everyone else lost money. According to Bloomberg, Byan started building his short position back in November of last year. He was trying to catch the top of the silver rally. He took some losses early on, trying to time it perfectly. But by January 28th, 2 days before the crash, his position had grown to about 18,000 contracts. Then, on January 30th, the exact day silver hit its peak, he added 10,000 more contracts. His total position reached 30,000 contracts. That equals 450 tons of silver. Let me say that again. On the exact day silver peaked, he doubled down on his bet that it would fall. Now, I want to be very clear here. I am not saying Byan caused the crash. I am not saying he had inside information about the Warsh nomination. What I am saying is that this man who made $3 billion being right about gold made a massive bet against silver at exactly the right moment. And the timing looks almost too perfect. According to Bloomberg, he made at least $144 million from this trade. Some estimates put his gains even higher, closer to $500 million. Think about that. One trader, one bet, possibly $500 million in profit, while thousands of other traders got wiped out. Here is my honest opinion. I think Byan simply read the market correctly. Silver had gone parabolic. It went from around $30 at the start of last year to over $121. That is a 4 times increase in less than 12 months. That kind of rally is almost never sustainable, no matter how strong the fundamentals are. When something goes up 4 times in 1 year, the leverage underneath becomes a ticking time bomb. He saw the danger and he bet against it, and he was right. But here's what keeps me up at night. One trader holding the largest short position on the entire Shanghai exchange. He made a fortune while the rest of the market burned. Some people might say that is just smart trading. Others might think something else was going on. What do you think? Drop your opinion in the comments right now. Now let me show you something that will blow your mind. While silver was crashing to $70 on the COMEX exchange in New York, something completely different was happening in the physical market. And this part made me rethink everything I thought I knew about how commodity markets work. Today, the same ounce of silver was trading at completely different prices around the world. In New York, silver was around $80. In Japan, that same ounce was $120. Same metal, same day, 50% difference. Shanghai was at $111. India was at $93. Kuwait was at $106. Dubai was at $91 with premiums of 15 to 18% above spot price. Let me repeat that. The same metal, the same chemical element was trading at 40% different prices depending on where you were standing. In a normal functioning market, this should not happen for more than a few minutes. Traders should buy cheap in New York and sell expensive in Shanghai and close the gap. But that is not happening. Why? Because silver lease rates have jumped to 7 to 8%. When you add those costs plus shipping and insurance, you cannot make a profit moving metal anymore. The system that is supposed to keep global prices aligned is broken. And it gets worse. Physical silver bars were completely unavailable in Dubai. Traders told reporters that stock was exhausted. Buyers were paying huge premiums just to get any silver at all. One dealer said, and I quote, "Silver is not available in the market right now." I also found reports that one of the largest bullion dealers in Switzerland had zero silver in stock. Not low stock, zero, nothing. When customers sold silver back to them, it was sold instantly to the next buyer. Nothing left on the shelves. Now connect these dots with me. The COMEX says silver is worth $80. Shanghai says it is worth over $100. Dubai says you cannot buy it at any price. Switzerland says there is literally none available. And the paper to physical ratio on COMEX is estimated at 350 to 1. That means for every real ounce of silver, there are 350 paper claims on it. You and I both know that math does not add up. And what happened next made it even worse. Let me show you what happened on February 5th. This is the part almost nobody is covering. According to Shanghai Futures Exchange data, on the morning of February 5th, they traded 1.4 million contracts on just one silver futures contract. Each contract represents 15 kilograms of silver. When you do the math, that single morning session traded approximately 674 million ounces of paper silver. When you add all the other silver contracts, the total comes to 1.34 billion ounces. Now remember this number, the entire world mines about 800 to 850 million ounces of silver per year. So in one morning, on one exchange, they traded nearly double the entire annual global supply. When I first saw this number, I thought it was a mistake. I checked it 3 times. It is real. This was not normal trading. This was a massive short-selling attack designed to crash the Chinese silver price. And you know what happened? Even after all that selling pressure, Shanghai silver still closed at a premium to COMEX. The price got beaten down, but the premium survived. Silver in Shanghai was still trading $17 above New York prices. That tells you something profound. You can dump a year and a half worth of global supply onto the market in one morning, and the physical premium still will not die. That tells you the real power in this market belongs to whoever holds the actual metal, not the paper traders. Let me give you another critical data point. Physical silver inventories at the Shanghai Futures Exchange have been falling sharply. They dropped from 482 tons to 423 tons. For context, inventories peaked at 1,391 tons back in January 2021. They are now down 86% from that peak. The silver is physically leaving the warehouses. This is real metal being taken off the exchange. And China's industrial demand for solar panels, electronics, and high-tech manufacturing is consuming it faster than it can be replaced. Now let me share the big picture. On January 1st, China officially reclassified silver as a strategic resource. This is huge. Only 44 companies received permission to export silver. This covers about 121 million ounces of annual exports, which is 60 to 70% of all refined silver traded globally. Think about what that means. China is the world's largest refiner of silver, and they just put government restrictions on supply leaving the country. You do not reclassify something as strategic unless you plan to keep it for yourself. When a government starts hoarding a commodity, that is the clearest signal about where they think the value is going. On top of that, Samsung locked up 100% of the output from a major silver mine in Mexico for the next 2 years. They paid $7 million upfront to secure every single ounce that mine produces. Samsung did not buy paper silver on an exchange. They did not buy an ETF. They went directly to the mine and said, "We want all of it." When a company like Samsung bypasses the entire exchange system, that tells you what sophisticated buyers think about future silver availability. They do not trust the paper market to deliver. Let me pause here because this is important. A government is hoarding silver. A mega corporation is locking up entire mines. And the exchanges where the price is set, nobody trusts them to actually deliver the metal. If that does not make you rethink how this market works, nothing will. Here's the timeline problem. Even at current prices, any new silver mining project takes 7 to 10 years to come online. The supply response will not arrive until 2033 at the earliest. Meanwhile, silver has been in a supply deficit for 6 straight years, and the deficit is getting bigger every year. Demand from solar panels alone used over 200 million ounces last year. Electric vehicles, artificial intelligence data centers, 5G infrastructure, medical devices, they all need silver, and there is no substitute. You cannot replace silver in a solar panel. The physics does not allow it. Even the state of Wyoming just selected a company to vault its physical precious metals within its own borders. A U.S. state government is now securing gold and silver storage. When state governments start vaulting precious metals, that is not normal. That tells me something fundamental has shifted. So let me give you my honest assessment. The crash on January 30th was a leverage event, not a fundamental event. There is a huge difference. The price moved because of how people were positioned, not because of what silver is actually worth. Every piece of physical market data confirms this. Physical silver in Shanghai stayed above $100 even during the worst of the crash. Physical silver in Dubai was unavailable at any price. Physical silver in Switzerland did not exist on dealer shelves. The paper price said $80. The physical market said you cannot have it at $100. That is not a bear market. That is a broken pricing system. The fundamentals have not weakened. They have gotten stronger. Silver is in a structural deficit with no supply response possible for 7 to 10 years. China restricted exports. Industrial demand is accelerating every quarter. COMEX inventories lost 26% of registered silver in just 7 days. London holdings are down 40% since 2021. Silver lease rates exploded from 0.5% to 8% and have not come back down. That is not a bubble that popped. That is a market where the physical metal is genuinely running out while the paper market pretends everything is fine. Here's the macro picture. Goldman Sachs has a $5,400 gold target. Bank of America has mentioned $6,300. If gold goes to $6,000 and the silver to gold ratio compresses to 45 to 1, silver goes to $133. My personal view, and this is my opinion, not financial advice, is that we are looking at one of the most asymmetric setups I have ever seen. The paper market can manipulate the price short term. We just watched it happen. But it cannot create physical silver out of thin air. And eventually, physical reality always wins. So let me leave you with this. The paper silver market says $77. The physical silver market says you cannot buy it at $100. One of those numbers is lying. In the history of commodity markets, when paper and physical diverge this far apart for this long, it is always paper that eventually breaks. Where do you think silver is heading by the end of 2026? Does paper win, or does physical reality take over? Drop your price prediction in the comments right now. I read every single comment, and I will pin the best analysis. If you got value from this video, share it with someone who needs to see it. And if you want to support this channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Con Invests. The real story is never on the surface. I will see you in the next one.